Hello, everybody. You're watching another episode of FunSmithsInternational. So today I want to talk a little bit about TCM is doing some really interesting movie marathons throughout the month of July. But now, of course, by the time I upload this video, a lot of the movies will have already aired. But I definitely do encourage you to check them out sometime, watch them if you're interested. If you have on demand and you have TCM, then yeah, the movies may still be available on demand for you to watch. If not, though, I think you can actually buy them or rent them off of TCM's website, though. But if you can't do it there, you can definitely rent them somewhere. But with that said, though, I'll jump right in. So, one movie marathon they're doing is on Friday nights, they're doing a marathon called 1939, Hollywood's Greatest Year. Because a lot of film historians say that. Of course, not everybody necessarily agrees with that. I necessarily agree with that though. But they did have some pretty interesting and signature films come out that year. So some of the films that they're showing during that marathon are they're showing the original 39 Hunchback of Notre Dame. Well, I don't know if that was actually the original though, but the 39 one, the 39 The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and of course the two biggest ones of all, Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz. And of course those two are both still so iconic, and they're both like celebrating their 8th anniversary this year, and it's like they're both still so beloved and iconic, and people just to talk about them, watch them all the time, and quote them. And interesting fact that I feel like a lot of people don't know for whatever reason is that Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz were both made by the same director, Victor Fleming. Ironically, when Gone with the Wind first came out in '39, it was a huge hit. Massive hit. In fact, it actually became the highest grossing movie of all time for the year 1939. However, The Wizard of Oz, on the other hand, was actually considered to be a flop when it initially came out that year. I know that would surprise most people to hear that though, but it was actually pretty expensive for its time period considering what they spent. Uh, they lost a lot of money off of it though. A lot of that may have been because of marketing though, but they didn't really get a lot of their money back. Initially, with its initial release. Um, but of course, it became a classic though through internet TV and stuff like that. And of course, now it's one of the most classic and iconic and just beloved films ever made. Another marathon they're doing is called Out of This World, and that is them showing sci-fi movies, and they're doing that every Tuesday night, and also during the day on Wednesdays. And some of the key main films that they're showing during that are the very first one they're showing is a short film. It's about 16 minutes long called A Trip to the Moon that came out in 1902, directed by George Méliès, who was a French director. If you've seen the movie Hugo, then he's actually in that movie, and he's kind of a tragic director because a lot of his films, unfortunately, just ended up getting used. Well, I forget what his film strips ended up being used for exactly, but a lot of his films are just completely lost though. Where I'm getting at though, this is one of the food that made it, and the movie really sets the stage for all sci-fi movies to come out. It's very groundbreaking for like again. This is 1902. This is a very early film, and of course, obviously, it's silent and in black and white though. But uh, but it, but the sets are very well used though. But basically, it's it's sparking people's interest and is actually trying to make it to the moon because it's about people that do just that. And it's very fitting that they're showing this movie, of course, because we're actually celebrating the 50th anniversary of the moon landing this month. Okay, so other movies, of course, that they are showing are they're showing the cult classic Time Machine from 1960, Stanley Kubrick's sci-fi epic 2001: A Space Odyssey, 1970 or 1968, excuse me, Steven Spielberg's sci-fi epic Close Encounters of the Third Kind from 1976, excuse me. Um, the granddaddy of all sci-fi epics, George Lucas's soap opera in space, Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, from 1977, and of course, we couldn't have Star Wars without its friendly rival, Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan from 1981, and finishing up the marathon with the sequel to 2001, 2010, The Year to Make Contact, from 1984, 16 years after 2001 originally came out, with Stanley Kubrick, of course, returning as the director. And that film is a little more underrated and obscure. I think a lot of people don't even realize that there even was a sequel of the to 2001 Place Odyssey, though. But there was, and I recently just discovered it myself. And I think that film actually features a completely different cast, though. I'm not sure. I know that one features Roy Snyder, John Lithgow, and Helen Mirren, who I'm pretty sure were not in the first one. One really big significant sci-fi film that they're not showing, and I can't believe they're not showing it. Of course, there are some other pretty significant ones that they're not showing. But of course, we jumped from 77 to 81, from Star Wars to Star Trek, and then we jumped, of course, from it to like 84 with 2010. So kind of following that pattern, go straight down the line. 2001 came out in '68. One other pretty big sci-fi movie that came out in '68 was The Planet of the Apes, and I'm really surprised it's not showing that one. I really would like to have seen that one during the marathon. And well, what was I even going to say about that? I guess I would like to see that one. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. Was it some of you may say, well, that one's not really dealing with space. It's supposed to be more space focused. Well, I initially wanted to think that, and I thought maybe that's why they weren't showing it. But actually, Time Machine does more with time travel than it really does space. Honestly, so I don't even know. And the last marathon that they're doing that I really wanted to talk about was they're doing a tribute to Fox Films, the studio 20th Century Fox. And with that, some of the films included that they're showing are Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, once again. And I really wish they'd actually would show the whole original trilogy of Star Wars, because I feel like if we're going to show Star Wars, really, you have to show at least the whole original trilogy. It's kind of like a marathon, but they're not really showing a whole lot of sequels during these marathons again, except 2010 is the one exception, though. But I guess that's the reason why, though. But I would have liked if they showed the whole original trilogy during this, though. But anyways, though. They're also showing All About Eve, Young Frankenstein, directed, of course, classic comedy directed by Mel Brooks, with Gene Wilder, Peter Boyle, and Cloris Leachman, and The French Connection, starring Gene Hackman, though. So I'm very excited about all of these marathons, though. But if you miss any of these marathons or these movies when they originally come on and you've never seen them before, and you want to watch them, or you just want to watch them, period, though, of course, you can always check them out from your local library, if you have one. If not, you can rent them or buy them or whatever. And with that said, as always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And good day, everybody.